Welcome, Mr. Kavyu. My name is Thomas Musau, your host today for the Uncensored 254. We are here to talk about County 48. Tell us what it is about and what the vision for this. Please say your name and your titles, and then we take it from there.
Okay, thank you very much, Thomas. I'm happy, I'm very thrilled to be here for the first time on Uncensored. My name's Bernard Kavyu, as you've seen on the screen. And I am the governor for Diaspora County 48. I know there will be a lot of questions about that, so I'm going to say it in advance that yes, we do have a County 48, and yes, we do have a founding governor, and that's me, and that's why I'm appearing on this program today to discuss Diaspora County 48. I'm based in London, England, United Kingdom. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Governor Kavyu. Very controversial name, of course, which will let us know how you got it without the being taken to court for impersonation. Then tell us who is Honorable Kavyu and what gives you the drive to do what you do. Give us an overview of where you have come from, your past, because I think you have come into public limelight the last 3 to 5 years. Some of us have been in the mainstream for over 10 years, 15 years. We have started having to hear about Kavyu about 5, 6 years ago. Tell us where you have come from, where you are Johnny Camillate kind of character. What gives you the impetus? What gives you that passion to move the world and become the household name in every conversation we go to within the Kenyans in the diaspora?
Okay, thank you. I'll give a very brief history of myself, and you realize that actually I tell people originally in Kenya, I'm from Ukambani, Kitui County, but I was raised and I went to school in Mombasa. So as far as I'm concerned, my diaspora started in Kenya. You know, in Kenya, if you are born in one county but you live in another county, that's diaspora for you. So that's where my seeds of diaspora started, from Ukambani to Mombasa. And from Mombasa, so I went to primary school there. And then from there, I went to secondary school, university. When I finished 94, in 95 February, I left Kenya for Namibia. And that was the beginning of my journey to diaspora. And Namibia, a lot of people, when I say Namibia, they say, well, what's Namibia? Namibia became independent in 1990. So it was a new country, lots of opportunities there. So a lot of us, and Kenyans were there, Kenyan soldiers were there under the UNTAG to secure the independence of Namibia. So the peacekeepers. So Namibia had become a very popular destination, and that's how I ended up there. And it was in Namibia that the seeds for Diaspora County 48 were sowed. When we got there, we were very few, scattered, so we started organizing, and we formed what was known as the Kenya. It's still there, Kenya Welfare Association. I was the first Secretary General of the Kenya Welfare Association in Namibia. I lived there for 11 years, 1995 up to 2006. And that's when I moved to the United Kingdom. And of course, compared to Namibia, the UK is more central. It's a center. I think this is the most central part of the Kenyan diaspora. If you look, the UK is in the middle. You go west, you have the US, the Canada, that's North America, South America. If you go east, you have Asia, China, and the rest. So the UK, Europe, really, we are in the middle of it. And it's no coincidence that Kenya being a former colony of the UK, there's a lot of influence. The UK, everything Kenyan, really, education system, administration, the laws, the language, everything, the culture, most of it, it's all British. So it was not difficult for me now to develop my political lobbying from a bigger platform. The UK became a bigger platform for me to champion. The Diaspora County 48 is really about unity. It's about bringing.
Now, before you go to County 48, I know you are very eager to talk about this piece, and I will give you time to talk about it. Don't go to that first. Tell us, what is your background? Is it engineering? Is it law? Is it education? And yes, we want to know, who is this chairman, also called the governor? We want to know what makes him tick. And that's what people want to know today about you.
All right. Okay. Okay. You should have said so. If you wanted my bio, I
No,
would have
it's
spelled
okay.
it
Don't
out for
worry.
you. All right. So, yeah, my first degree was in economics. So that's my my major subject. I'm an economist. And then so that was the first degree I did. After that, I did a degree in law from the University of Cape Town. And I've actually done a master's degree, LLM degree here in the UK. So now, whereas I started my career really as an economist, I've been teaching, I taught a lot. I taught at the University of Namibia. I've taught here in the UK, several institutions. Economics was always my focus, but I've really moved towards law. And having done my LLM in legal practice, I'm just working on my SQE. For those who know how the legal system works in the UK, to practice law here, you need to have what they call the solicitor. You have to do the solicitor qualifying exams, which used to be the LPC, now is SQE. So I am now actually just working on that. The idea is I would like to be a barrister, like Sir Charles Njonjo. You know, that's what inspires me. You know, so one day I want to be in the bar in the UK, and that's where I'm heading to. Probably next year I'll be embarking on my PhD, also in law. So that's where I'm going. I'm going on the legal route.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. That's quite important, because as a lawyer, you have a lot of hard questions to ask, to answer. But in the meantime, no, there's a lot that is being discussed out there. You in everybody's mouth talking about County 48. County 48, in the Kenyan Constitution, there is no such a county. Yet, you claim to own one. Who created County 48? Who gave it the name? And why is it being sold as if it is a county that exists within the law?
Okay, so in Kenya, we have 47 counties, okay, according to the 2010 constitution. But the same constitution also provides for Kenyans living abroad to be involved and positively and progressively engaged in governance in our country and taking part in affairs of the country. So it's not, and I want people to understand, when we say Diaspora County 48, it's not just a figment of our imagination. It's born from the fact that, yes, there are already 47 counties in Kenya. But then we also recognize that they are about now, we are close to 5 million, because the recent reports from the World Bank showed that we are close to 4.5 million Kenyans. And we are not talking, we are talking of just the official. If you take the unofficial number, we are close to 5.2 million Kenyans. That's the population of the Nairobi County. And what we are saying is we have enough people outside Kenya who constitute what can be called a county. And since 2010, we have been agitating for this. And come 2014, the Kenya Diaspora Policy was the first framework which recognized the existence of Kenyan diaspora community. So I want people to understand, just the fact that we are using, we can
There's a difference between recognition and the creation. So we want to know, how was the county created?
Yes,
under which legislation?
I'm coming to that. So what I'm trying to say to you is, it's one thing to talk about the Kenyan community in diaspora, and we are saying that community already is big enough. We are almost now the size of Nairobi County population-wise. Shakespeare says, oh, what's in a name, really? Because some people, it's just when they just hear the word county, then they just, oh no, who created it? It's just a name, okay? We could call it county number 100 or county, it doesn't matter. What we are saying is Diaspora County 48 is a recognition of the fact that there are Kenyans abroad who have rights.
Who's got recognition now?
Can I finish myself? Whose rights are just as good and must be respected as those Kenyans living within the boundaries of Kenya. Who has recognized this? I will start with today. I've been sharing because I knew you are going to be throwing these questions at me. So I got a clip I've been keeping since the 30th of September 2017, where we were having a conference with the IEBC chairman, Chebukati. And in his own words, and this is very important because you're asking about the legal framework. The chairman of IEBC himself pronounced, he was the first official, government official to actually recognize that diaspora is the 48th county of Kenya. So as you ask me these questions, I want you to know, I know you voted in the last election. Your votes were under Diaspora County 48. And that is documented. I can provide you evidence for that. So that was Chebukati. First track, so that's 2017. First track, September 2022, on his inaugural speech to the country, the current president of Kenya, President Dr. William Ruto, he said, and I quote, "We have decided to elevate the diaspora, the Kenyan diaspora, to the 48th county." Those are the words of the current president. So when a lot of people think Kavi is dreaming, Kavi is coming up with all these words.
They have the right to dream.
This is the government.
They have the right to dream.
Himself.
They have the right to question. And the reason...
they can question, but the president himself said, we have elevated diaspora to the 48th county. That is county level. And also diaspora affairs were also elevated to a ministerial level. So we are very much within the framework. All we need to do, Musau, is just to change the constitution to actually create this county. But in practice, what we call de facto.
Now you are talking. Now you are talking, because what you are doing is you're going behind the bar and creating something unconstitutional and actually illegal to actually create something that does not exist. Have you pondered? Have you thought about taking the government to court to force it to create this county? Because as long as there is
No,
no such an existence of county 48, because it's not there,
no,
literally,
no,
it's a
Thomas,
dreamland.
let
You
me
are living cloud nine.
Thomas, let me correct you there. We do not sue the government. We are not taking the government to court over
Why?
this. What we need to do is known as lobbying. And I told you since 2010, we have been lobbying step by step. That's in by 2017, Chebukati was able to say Diaspora County 48. 2022, the president was able to say Diaspora County. We are lobbying, and there's a legal process for this. I'll summarize it for you. It's very simple. We need what we need, we call a constitutional amendment bill to be tabled in Parliament. And the moment we do that, we already have sponsors for that. In fact, I got 3 parliamentarians, 2 senators offering to sponsor that bill for us. So it's just a matter of tabling
Which bill is that?
We are going to table a bill known as a constitutional amendment bill for the creation of Diaspora County 48. And this bill will need to amend 3 main parts of the current Kenyan Constitution. Schedule 1, which talks about 47 counties, Article 97 and 98. They all refer to 47 counties. We need to change those to talk about the 48. So once that's done, on paper, it will mean the creation, the county 48 would be able to exist. Then from there, we need, so for that to work, we just need 2/3 majority of parliament. And then after that, we need a referendum of 50% plus 1, and that's it. And
Thank you. Now, that is one way, and I say there could be other ways, like taking the government to court, because it is something within the constitution, and they have opted not to give that right. My question is now comes to what the current structure, which I think may put you into trouble in the future. Ask me why. You call yourself a governor. You know who a governor is. You know what to become a governor involves. And I do understand you also have MCAs. And you know what it costs to be an MCA. Can you tell us the legal basis for these names? Because we need to be able to follow the narrative from from understanding where all these things are coming from. You cannot just wake up and say, I'm a governor, I'm an MCA. These are terminologies that are within the Constitution, that instead of following the right structure, the right route to acquire these systems and titles, you have actually started calling yourself a governor, you have started calling yourself an MCA. What is going on, Mr. Kaviu?
I don't call myself governor. You just called me governor when we were starting this program. It's every organization that has ever been. If you go to Microsoft, if you went to ANC or KANU or KADU, or when an organization is formed, they are always the founders, the pioneers, okay? And you do not go and say, who elected you chairman of KANU, or who elected you president of ANC? If you are the founder, automatically those are the perks that come with the sacrifices of pioneering. What we have is, we have our counties mirrored exactly like all the other 47 counties in Kenya. And for us to be able to progress, remember, and I keep saying this to a lot of people, In the US, there are so many. I have friends who have organizations. They say, "Oh, I am the president of this. I'm the president of that."
Yeah,
And nobody,
constitutionally it's correct. It's allowed.
exactly. Nobody questions, why are you calling yourself president? Who appointed you as a
No.
president?
Constitutionally is
You
fine,
can
but
have whatever
we're talking
title
about
you
Kenya
want.
here. Kenya, we know who our governor is in Kenya, but
we are in
in
diaspora for goods, Musau. This is diaspora. We are not in diaspora. County 48 is in diaspora. So I could use the title governor. I can use president. I can use chairman. It doesn't matter.
So
You
wait
understand?
there, Mr. Kavyu. Wait. Are you trying to say that County 48 is a UK organization
Diaspora,
or Kenyan
diaspora. It's a diaspora, not UK. It's a diaspora.
But you are seeking registration in Kenya.
Yes, so that through the constitution, and once that happens, we will 2027 as Kenyans vote for their counties, the 47 counties. We are going to hold our elections here just like any other county. We love our governors, our senators, our MNAs, our MCS elected just like everyone. But you should be saying, how can we help you to get there? How soon can the government pass this? How soon can we change these laws so that the county can be ready to face elections in 2027 instead of questioning why we are using titles, which is really minor? Who cares about a title?
Mr. Kavyu,
what is in a name, as Shakespeare said?
Mr. Kavyu,
yeah?
we are
roads
now
smell any different just if it's given a different name?
No. Listen, we're talking about Kenyan organization that is supposed to be registered in Kenya. And you are saying that it's okay to call yourself a governor in Kenya when you are not.
I'm not in Kenya, am I? I'm in diaspora.
Okay.
This is diaspora county 48, Kenya.
Okay. Let me go to another question because I have a few other questions that I want the public to help me, and I want the public to be answered by you. Now, we see that you have said, okay, we are following now the process. We have the system and the structures in place, and you will be able to follow the proper channel to establish County 48. And we have seen that you are lobbying, which is very good. And many people will actually be proud of you. And we look forward to that. That is a very good thing. And I'm sure so many people, listeners and the people watching, will be behind you to get this one done. Myself, I will be 100% behind you. There are also other avenues. Sorry?
Thank you. Thank you for the endorsement and support.
Exactly.
We appreciate that.
Because what I don't want is to have something that has no legal basis. And you know, when there is no legal basis, it means you can actually be sued or you can be dismissed as a madman. These are things that have been said. So we want to make this thing real and stop dreaming, because you have been told you are dreaming. So if you are going that way, please share with us what you are doing. And you have just said you are lobbying and you are sending a bill to the parliament that to change. We hope this will work out. And I think if you work with the government of the day or the next government, they can push through, which I know you are doing that. Another thing is, you could also sue. That's my position, because it's a right. This is constitutional. Why have they not created it? Why do they talk about progressive? These are some of the things people are asking. But my question today is, say you have achieved your dream and the county is created. Tell us how a county, the county 48, will work in foreign countries, what are they going to be? What, unless there is specific growth they will be given, which is different from the others. Tell us how it will work. Give us a blueprint, please.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I think I count 3 questions in one. So let me start by saying that a lot of work and effort has gone into the creation of what we call County 48. For me to be seated here talking to you, a lot has happened. And we've got structures. Like I say, we've mirrored the counties back home. So when you say Diaspora County 48, our structures are exactly the same. And that's why we say, remember, we also debated, should we be using the titles of governor, deputy governor, senator of, and we said absolutely yes. Why? Because if you want to go and ask the government and the people of Kenya, because by the end of the day, they are the ones who will be in the referendum saying, give them a county. And that's when we'll be telling them, guys, remember the remittances we are sending. You know, we are not asking you much. We just want you to vote yes for our county. I don't think that's too much to ask, and they will vote for it. But we want them to already see that we've already the vision is being realized. We don't want to go and start and say, okay, so have you thought about That's why we'll be saying, here you are looking at the governors. We have a governor, we have a senator, we've got our assembly, we've got our MC. That's very important. So all that groundwork has been done. The lobbying has been taken. I can tell you, we've had so many since 2014.
Wait.
We've had so many events. We've had people. We've traveled delegations up and down. One in diaspora and in Kenya.
Mr. Gavio, wait a minute. We are not talking about the work. We are not talking about the work you have done. I'm asking a specific question about the structure and how it will be made operational. You have a governor, you have a senator, and you have an MCA. I got that one. Will they be able to attend parliament? And will they attend it in the diaspora, or are they going to attend in Kenya, where those assemblies are held?
I'm coming to that. I was coming to that, and absolutely, yes, they will be attending in Kenya. Remember, the moment we become a county, and that's what we are really fighting for. We are not fighting to build roads, because there are no roads to build in diaspora. We are not fighting to build schools. Where we live in the UK, there are schools, hospitals, NHS is the best. And that applies to a lot of. Our main focus will be the welfare of our Kenyans living in diaspora. And we will need, our senator will definitely be sitting in the Senate. But they don't need to sit there every day. They will be there this week, and then they will be touring diaspora, finding out what our people need. The same with the
Are you aware that there is minimum number of sittings you must do as a senator, as an MCA, as a member of parliament?
Yes, it doesn't matter. Our people, like we said, our business is in diaspora. So their main focus, if you're supposed to be in Nairobi, they'll go sit in Nairobi, pass whatever bills that need to be passed. But their mandate, their constituents are in diaspora. They need to spend more time. Here in the UK, where do our MPs spend their time? They spend it in their surgeries.
And other countries,
where they meet there. They only go to the House of Parliament to appear, and when they have business there, but they have a timetable to meet their constituents in their surgeries. That's how our counties
now. This is where I am coming now. Assuming that they are supposed to be wherever they are elected to represent, say America, UK, Germany, and the rest. My question is, that means the law has to change so that representatives from the diaspora constituency are going to be treated different from the rest in the country?
They are already different because our constituency is not within the boundaries of Kenya. So they are
the
already
law
different.
will have to change, right? On
Not,
that. About
not,
attendance.
Musau, we are talking of technology. Am I not now attending here uncensored? Are we in the same building? No. Technology is going to be
Then in
embraced. They
that
will be
case,
able to
yes,
attend parliament through virtual meetings. This idea of having to go sit down, this is archaic. It's going to pass. People will not need to go to parliament buildings anymore. They can have meetings virtually, yes.
In that case, you mean we'll have to, in counties and national government and other places where diaspora are represented will have to invest in technology. Now that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Because you don't have to attend in person currently. But if they are to attend according to the law, then they will need to actually have another law changed to accommodate the fact that they will not be attending sittings like any other member of parliament.
Let me tell you that bag for change, we are not just talking about that. That's also where we'll be saying we want people to be able to register virtually and vote electronically, mobile vote. So there are a lot of things we are going to be fighting for. Come 2027, we want every Kenyan in diaspora to be able to vote, register and vote from where they are. They don't need to travel. According to the law now, you have to go to the Kenyan mission, whether it's an embassy, high commission, or consulate, to register and vote. We are saying it's time to embrace technology. So that will be in the same basket where we are saying technology. Diaspora County 48. Remember, we are covering the whole globe. Technology will be the main key. And people keep saying, you can't have a county in foreign, but they're still thinking on that physical way, that everything. So you are going to be saying, okay, you are in this country. We are in all over the world. We are in the globe. So we can have our head office in Nairobi, but we can be running the county in every other country using technology. Yes.
Mr. Kavio, they have the right to have reservations, and I'll give you one of the reasons. Do you know any country, even the developed ones, who have representatives in their home country? They say, for example, in the UK, do you have a representative of their people in Kenya or in Africa in the national parliament? The answer is no. America, the same. Do you have any representative of Americans in the UK,
absolutely,
in the House, in the Parliament, in the US national parliament? The answer is no.
Musau,
why is Kenya going to be different? This is the question people are asking.
Thomas, people need to wake up and see what is happening. Do you know how many military bases the US has got all over the world, including here in the UK?
Let's talk about
India. No, wait a minute. In the UK, in Kenya, the British in Nanyuki, this is already happening. That's like they have theirs is military, but it's a military county in Kenya. If you go to that military base, that's America. That's US, the UK. Do you understand? I think people need to understand this whole concept of globalization.
Mr. Kavio,
you've got Americans who own military bases in other countries.
I think you're digressing.
That's a county. No, those are counties. Those are counties. The British military base in Nanyuki, the military base, what is it? What is it? Who runs the base in Nanyuki? Are there Kenyans in there? Who runs that base? Who runs the base?
Listen. I want you to listen to what I'm asking you. Yes. We are here. We are working. We are from Kenya. We have people working for the for the UK in Kenya, for the US in Kenya, we are here. Does that mean we represent ourselves here in the UK? No. What I'm asking you is simple. We have more British people in Kenya than Kenyans in the UK. I don't know whether you are aware.
Yeah, I know. There are 250,000 British citizens in Kenya.
In Kenya.
250,000 of them in Kenya.
Yes. And how many are we here?
And they own
how
a
many are we
military,
here?
listen, and they own a military base in Kenya.
Which is
a sovereign state within Kenya, a military base. It's like a sovereign state. You cannot poke your nose. If you try to enter that base, you'll be shot. You understand? Why can't we have our county in diaspora? You see, people need to think.
Mr. Kavi, I want you to
China's military bases in Djibouti.
I know you are a politician and you are trying to change things. May I ask a simple question which I would like and the rest of the people watching this channel want to hear? Which footsteps are Kenyans following to demand representation in the Kenyan parliament? Is there one single country you can say, this country has a diaspora representative in the House of Parliament? This is a straightforward question. And I'm talking about House of Parliament. Don't talk about military. Don't talk about expatriates. I'm talking about House of Parliament. How many countries do you know have representatives?
Many.
Okay, give me an example.
Israel
has got a representative.
They've got diaspora. In fact, the Israeli diaspora is bigger than the political parties there. Israel has got, Argentina has got, Sierra Leone has got representatives. There are so many countries. The Philippines, in fact, the Philippines have got serious diaspora representation. So countries there are countries who have embraced the importance of diaspora, and we are going to be, for Africa, I'm telling you, we are going to get there. And forget this thing of how can you do this in a foreign country? It's simple. How come foreign countries have bases, military bases in other people's countries? So why can't we have our own county and we are not even having weapons or nuclear or anything? We are just saying we want to run our affairs from diaspora from here. And that's it. And it's going to happen.
I'm doing a simple Google search. And my question is, examples of countries with diaspora representatives in the Houses of Parliament. Let's see.
Use AI technology. Google is not sharp.
Yeah, that's true. Let me use
AI.
Let me ask AI, ChatGPT, ChatGPT, bang. Ask the same question. Ask the same question while I'm doing this.
How many? So, okay. You want me to do that for you?
Yeah, because I'm using a different phone. Ask.
Okay.
Which countries have got diaspora representatives in their Houses of Parliament?
Keep the conversation as memory now as memory enable. Okay. Which countries?
John?
Which countries? Diaspora representation.
Got it?
Many countries. That's
Yeah,
okay.
good.
India, Italy, Ireland, France. Yeah.
Yes.
And it goes on and on and on. Yeah.
And African, and African.
That's why I told you we are going to be the first one. That's the whole idea, isn't it? At least your question is answered, right?
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. I want
So,
that one,
so
but
this
I'm
is nothing new. We are not reinventing the
okay.
wheel here. It has been done.
Mr. Kavio, Mr. Kavio, this is going to be the last question
Yes.
on the current existence of County 48. I know
Yes.
you have people called, you are the founding governor and you have also founding MCAs. I think now you have changed the wordings to be politically correct and legally correct, which is very clever of you. Now, assuming that we got this um, um, accepted through the normal legal or through the parliament,
Yes.
what will happen to the people who are currently calling themselves governors and the MCAs now that we will have to follow the normal procedure for elections? Is there a way you're going to compensate these people who have been loyal to you? Or how are you gonna compensate them? Because clearly being a founding MCA does not mean you'll automatically be elected. Unless you
These
don't want people to be elected, unless they're gonna be appointed.
we are going to have elections, I told, God willing, 2027. And these pioneers, they've sacrificed their lives, their name. There's something, I'll tell you something more important than money.
You're gonna campaign on those
I
grounds.
don't care whether I'm elected as governor for diaspora, so long as my name goes down in the annals of history, in the golden pages of Diaspora County 48, saying this was the man with the vision, and a little plug or a little thing just to say, yes, that's it. Do you understand? Money, it's not about money. This is not, it's about believing in something, serving our people, and giving our people those rights. I'm telling you, come 2027, we want to see real change. We want diaspora to be part and parcel of the Kenyan electoral process, governance. We want to be part, to be on the table, and not just at the back of the table, but on the real high table, discussing the plight of Kenya there. Those
Thank
who
you.
have served, everybody will be eligible for election. If you are elected, well and good. If you are not elected, it doesn't matter. Your name will go down as a founding MCA, as a
Thank you.
founding speaker, as a
Thank you.
founding MNA for diaspora. To me, that's more important than money.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
That's answered, and I see where you are coming from, which is a very great cause, and clearly it's worth doing it. Being a founding somebody, you go into the history as the first MCA, an elected MCA for which county will be in history books clearly. So I see that, but I want to ask a question regarding the process you're going. I know you have done so much. Me, I want to be realistic and I ask you a hard question regarding your dream. You have kept saying 2027. 2027, you according to you, you expect us to have a county which is already recognized in the country. That is according to you. Now, our country, Kenya, is in red financially. Actually, as we speak now, some of the government structures are being mortgaged. You know what is happening. And we cannot afford the loans. to create a county will require a lot of resources. And as I speak to you now, the Gen Zs and other people are talking about how counties can be merged. It's a way of saving money. Now, you are here asking for more money to pay a governor, to pay a senator, to pay an MCA. Don't you think you're asking too much?
Absolutely not, Thomas. We are not going to ask for a penny. We remit 4.5 billion US dollars. Billion, okay? Our remittances to and these remittances, what people don't understand is, yes, we send some of this money to our relatives to pay school fees, but all these transactions are taxed. Do you know there's a 15% tax on all these transactions? All we are asking for is all the tax revenue collected from remittances be given to diaspora account. Do you understand? So we are not going to be asking even for a penny from the government in Nairobi. If anything, we are going to mobilize diaspora to invest and help our country. So having a diaspora county, our county will actually be supporting the other counties. We'll be feeding them, because we are not going to be, and that's a misconception. People think we are about, oh, create this, it will bring.
Mr. Kavio,
No, we are
Mr.
organizing
Kavio,
ourselves so we can actually help our country back home.
Mr. Kavio,
That's the idea.
the way you are talking leaves a lot to be to be conceivable to legal minds. Number one, you can't have a county that is funded differently from the rest. The other time you said people in the county, the representative from the county, will be exempted from attending normal sittings from others. Now you are saying funding is going to be different. Are you forming an island called Diaspora County, or are you actually talking about a county which is part of Kenya? Because the things you are saying means you change constitution completely. Because when you
No,
say county will
no,
not be funded through the normal systems, the people will be deducted their remittances and paid for the. I think we are talking about formation of a foundation, diaspora
no,
foundation, where we
no,
run our own affairs,
no,
where we have representatives and do
Thomas, please.
our things our own way. But we are talking about a county like any other
Thomas,
county in
please.
Kenya.
Thomas, please. The same constitution you are quoting, the Kenyan laws, they provide that any government of the day, the duty number one is to provide for the Kenyan citizen. What does that mean?
You.
Protect their lives and protect their properties and give them a livelihood, which means it's the duty of any government to make sure people are employed, gainfully employed to support their families. The Kenyan government today, his main policy on employment is shipping Kenyan labor abroad. Why aren't you asking, why is this government doing? All other governments, the government's duty is to get people employment within the country. Why are we shipping our manpower abroad? Because that's the practical thing to do. People will still leave the country and go seek for greener pastures. Why not streamline it so that these people are not exploited, so that you can actually have a G2G relationships where people can actually benefit? So let's not
So are you
say
trying to
you are
say that
being so we do not have to have our county being funded the same way as the counties in Kenya. Why? Because we are not going to provide the same. I told you, we are not building roads, we are not building schools, we are not building hospitals. We only want to provide welfare for our people and help our country back home by our people investing back home to benefit the people. So our funding modality will be different. I have to say, we do not need the government to allocate for. All we are saying is the money you tax coming from diaspora, that tax which is collected, give it to Diaspora County 48. Why? Because that money belongs to us. Do you see? I'm answering your question of why do they want us to reduce the 47 counties? Because it's very expensive to run them. But our county will come at a zero cost to the exchequer in Nairobi. That's what I'm saying to you. Zero cost. If it's funded through our remittances. If it's funded through our remittances, that's what I'm saying.
Wait a minute. That money you are talking about is already budgeted for something else. So there will be a shortfall in terms of...
No, absolutely. We are, you cannot budget on people's remittance. Well, do you know how much money you are planning to send to Kenya today? How much? How can you say we are planning? We are going to do this. No, absolutely. That is diaspora money, and we want it to be channeled. The tax collected from remittances should be channeled county, and that's all the money we need to run the county.
Are you trying to say the money we send is not taxed as we speak now?
It is taxed, and I'm saying that.
And why are you saying that money will be sent elsewhere when it's already being used elsewhere? Come on, let's be realistic here.
That will
so
be
just say that because it is from diaspora, it should be diverted to diaspora. Is that what you are trying to say?
That's what I'm saying. And
what about where that money is going now as we speak?
You are missing the point. You know what a remittance is? I sent, say, £1,000. So £1,000 has gone to Kenya. It's being used in Kenya. Yeah. You understand? So the government, the country, has already benefited from my £1,000. But on top of that, they collect tax from that £1,000. Do you understand? It's not unfair to say that tax on my £1,000 needs to go to County 48. I don't think that's too much to ask. If anything, that's not too much to ask. And that will be enough money to fund Diaspora County 48.
Do you admit that it will mean that money being diverted to County 48, there will still be a black hole created by diverting that money to something else when it was meant for some? Do you agree there won't be still
have not seen the budget allocation in the Kenyan budget, which relies on the diaspora tax collections. And if there is, we are saying remove it. Let that money be taken to diaspora. And I'm saying that's what is 15% of 1,000? It's £150 out of 1,000. So we are giving you £850, and we are telling you, you keep 850, give us 150 so we can run our affairs, so that we can send you more money. I think that's better for the country.
Mr. Kavio, you are just being political and reasoning like a politician or trying to avoid my question. We already know the biggest foreign exchange earner in Kenya today is diaspora. Yes. Meaning, we know how much is coming in, and the government is budgeting for that money because they know how much it is, and that is why they can even say how much it is. What you are trying to say is that money should not go to where it is going, whether it is theft or whether it is infrastructure. What you are saying is that money belongs to diaspora and must go there. And what I'm saying is where it is going at the moment means we are still going to be digging deeper into the public purse to fund for another county. As we speak now,
no, Musau. I think I want people, because many people never understand the whole concept of remittances. Remittances actually go to our family members. They go to, they pay school fees, and all. So this money does not actually go directly to the government. How remittances help the government is through the forex. Well, when you send, I'm sending pounds. So the government will take these pounds and use them in our forex exchange and give my relatives Kenya shillings. Do you understand? So where remittances help is they provide that forex, which is highly required for imports and so on and so forth. So that's where the government benefits. The money, the remittances do not actually go to the government. Do you understand? That's point number one. And then on top of that, the government taxes our money. And that what we are saying is, how are you going to fund the county?
That's what I'm talking about. Taxes, our money.
We can either share that tax halfway, 50-50 with the government, or take all of it, because the government has already benefited from the forex we are giving it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, the forex idea.
I'm speaking from an economic point of view. As an economist, I'll tell you, our forex, especially during COVID, we were the only source of forex for Kenya during COVID, because there were no exports.
So, I agree with you on that. And
we offer them the forex, but the tax on our remittances, we should be given either all of it or a good percentage of it to run our own affairs.
Okay, I'm going to ask you one last question, one last time about that. You said tax of our money is an income for the government.
Yes.
Clearly, that money will be budgeted by the Ministry of Finance during our budget, isn't the reading of the budget?
Yep.
What you are trying to say is this money should not go where it has been budgeted for. It should go to County 48, right?
Yes, where it belongs.
Okay, thank you. What about where it was going before? Answer me that question. What about where it was going before?
Well, it's tough luck. There's a lot of waste in government. There's a lot of So what we are saying is we are already sacrificed. We are already earning the country forex. Okay. We are saying the tax taken on our remittances should be given back for us to run this, so that we will actually, do you know what the government target is? A trillion shillings in forex. That's the target. We can hit that easily if we are organized, if the County 48 is organized, if diaspora is organized, so that we now know we are running our own affairs. We want to invest. We are investing as diaspora. Let's talk about Adani, for example. People are talking about the airport being given to an Indian company. Do you know, if Kenyan diaspora, County 48, came together and we said we are going to finance Adani, Kenya JKIA, we can do that very easily. We don't need outsiders. We've got the resources to do that. But because there is no structure and system of bringing us
the county, but the account is not an investment company. We're talking about investing. A county does not invest. It just gets and it gets and it gets and it spends.
Will mobilize investors. And that's where we go wrong. Haven't you seen? What do you think the whole British Chamber of Commerce is all about? It's about the British government bringing businesses to go and invest. That's how it works. You need a structure to invest. We need the County 48 to have a Chamber of Commerce, which would then go and invest in Kenya. That's how it works.
But that's not a county. That's a business and venture.
Well, I'm saying there need to be a structure. We are so scattered, fragmented, disunited. Every person in diaspora walks their own direction. We are saying let's all focus. If we all said, guys, everybody now, we are going to JKIA. Bring your money. Let's invest it in JKIA. By tomorrow morning,
would that be the work of a governor? Would that be the work of the governor?
It is. Why are you talking about the guys as if a county is run by one?
Because
you are actually the diaspora will be the diaspora County 48 will be investing in the country in our country. The same way you can have Mombasa County investing or even giving loans. Counties borrow money from counties. Don't you know this?
Wait.
There's a lot of things counties. We could be lending counties in Kenya money.
Thank you. Do you know? Okay, thank you. It's good to have brought this. Do you know one of the ways of counties being one of the ways counties get funded is through taxing its own constituents, those own people through, say, for example, businesses.
Yes.
Through what system are you going to use, assuming you are the governor? What system are you going to use to actually generate your own income as a county?
For us, it will just be, it will be, you see, like the way we have a council tax and you are talking of business rates and all that. For us, it will just be a simple subscription, which our members will make. And Israelis do that a lot. The Indians, you've seen those countries, the Philippines, they
do
do
actually
that. They
subscribe?
actually subscribe money towards organizations for the aid of Israel. You understand what I'm saying? So we will be having County 48, where we say you're a member, let's subscribe. We'll have a budget for the county and we'll say, let us fund this. And where does this money go? To our motherland. This is about our motherland. Everything why we came to diaspora was because we wanted to do good, better for ourselves and go do things better for our country and our people. So only this time we'll be doing it in a more organized and a better way. So we can find a way of just membership where we just say subscribe every year, £100. If everybody in diaspora just gave 4 million people gave 100, that's 400 million pounds.
Mr. Kavyu,
you understand what I'm saying?
Mr. Kavyu,
that's enough money to fund the whole budget of Kenya.
When it comes to collecting taxes, it is a compulsory thing. You don't opt in or out. And I'll tell you, and you know this, I'm not going to tell you, anything that is voluntary, it cannot work. You have to bring another blueprint. You can't say a county will be funded by volunteers. It does not work like that. It will never work. And unless we come up with a structure that will actually be sellable, even in the houses of parliament, people will vote it down. And this is why such a discussion is so important. The other thing also I wanted to ask you, because this one is not a question, it's just what I know. Because me, if you tell me, give me money to take to the government of Kenya to fund our county, my straight answer is no. Because they take already a lot of money for the county. But in other words, you cannot invest by asking people to donate. Unless you tell people, we have an investment arm of the county where people can buy shares to do ABCD, that can work. But don't tell people, well, give us some money, voluntary subscription all the time. That will not work. Number two, we need also to, and this one is actually a question. When you have an investment, say for example, they are done thing, and you are going to buy and invest for the county, what structure will have where people are guaranteed? And the two, a work of the governor. No, that's not the question. Actually, the question is something different. This one is hard, but I forgive you if you don't know the answer. It's regarding the issue of having a county. What is it we can do as a county with our own representatives that the government cannot use the mission, the High Commission, the embassies to do for us? If you can answer that question, then if the government is actually accountable and puts the welfare of citizens at their heart. And I'm giving an example of a country like UK, US. When there is a calamity, they send their own choppers. They take their people away. Now, with that kind of government, why would you need to have a county? Give me services that a county will offer that are over and above what a functional government can offer.
Okay. Let
And
me
this is the
just.
last question, I promise.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm enjoying our discussion. Uh, Let me start by telling you, foreign missions, okay, foreign diplomatic missions are meant for just that. They are diplomatic, and the diplomacy comes with its own shortcomings. And that's why you've had many times when someone says, "Oh no, be diplomatic. Don't be combative. Don't." What does that mean? What that means is that it's trying to sometimes to bury things under the carpet, under the rug, not face challenges head on, and so on and so forth, not call a spade a spade. So diplomacy is a way of just trying to be nice. Now, one thing we've all learned is that there is nothing nice about living in diaspora. And that myth, I had interviews in Nairobi, Kenya, with KTN, with KBC, and I was trying to actually to use the word you had you to demystify that myth that it's all rosy, it's a bed of roses in diaspora. Diaspora people have made it. It's a lie. It's a myth. In diaspora, people have got serious issues, serious problems, serious issues that cannot be solved diplomatically. You cannot use a diplomatic mission to solve problems that face a lot of people in diaspora. The missions only represent the people who have actually gone and registered at the mission. So unless you are actually registered at, say, Kenya High Commission, can I answer the
what
question?
prevents people from registering?
Let me answer the question. So unless they have actually registered, and that's why there's a big gap between, if someone asks you how many Kenyans, do you know? If you ask how many Kenyans are in diaspora, according to the Foreign Affairs, they will say the total number of Kenyans in diaspora is 250,000. It's a shame, you know. It's unbelievable. 200. Why? Because they are looking at the registers at the High Commission, and they will say, "Oh, in UK you've got 80,000, in the US you have 125,000, and then in the other countries you have here and there 50. Total maximum number 250." It's a big lie. There are almost 5 million Kenyans in diaspora, and majority of those Kenyans have never bothered to go and register themselves at the missions. Therefore, there is no way you'd expect those missions to actually know what these people go through, what their issues are, and so on. We've seen this during elections where people have problems with registration. To register to vote and to vote, you have to go to the mission. You are traveling across. Take the UK, for example. We have got 4 countries: Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, England. To vote, you all must travel to London. It's nonsense. You understand? The whole thing. The US is a continent. It's a subcontinent. There are only 3 voting stations in Los Angeles, New York, and Washington, D.C. So you have to crisscross that country to get one of those registration polling stations. And when you come up with 10,000 Kenyans in diaspora registered to vote, people say, "Oh, they were fighting to vote, rights to vote, and
Wait,
look,
Mr.
only 10,000.
Kavio.
Why?
Mr.
Because of those inherent problems. I'm trying to show you things the embassies can never deal with. Only county 40 people who are on the ground like us, we know what the problems are. They cannot be dealt and settled by the missions. We need boots on the ground. And that's where Diaspora County comes in.
Okay,
We are the
thank
boots
you.
on the
Thank
ground.
you.
You
Thank you
understand?
for that. Let me acknowledge, yes, registration could be a tall order, which probably is because some of the countries like here, we don't need to rely on Kenyan government to resolve our problems because we already have representatives here. We can vote, we can we can meet our members of parliament, our councillors, and give them our problems. The problems actually we need representation. To me, I think is in Kenya when we travel there rather than when we are here. And that is why we have our local MP in Kenya and local councillor there, so that when you go there as a dual citizen, you have somebody who deals with your problems in Kenya. And when you are here, you have somebody who deals with your problems. Now, registration, I don't see why people should register in the first place. I know it's good for emergencies, but to be honest, most of the Kenyans here are dual citizens, which means that we are dual citizens. The government here has equal responsibility as Kenyan government to assist you when you are in trouble. So why go to Kenya when I know all the problems with Kenya instead of going to the people I fear and I pity for are undocumented people because they may not be known. But remember, in this country, the local council you live in has a legal responsibility to look after its people, whether they are documented or not documented. And you can go into local charities and the council and say you are homeless and they cannot do anything except to support you. So you said about registration. Registration to me should not be a reason why we should look for a county. Can you give us why we should have a representative in the UK? Another reason that we should have, because you said infrastructure we cannot.
I think you've missed the point. You've missed the point. You are talking about. I just use the registration at the mission
Yeah,
as
but
their
example.
database. You understand?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
the registration I was talking about was for the things we care about, voting.
Yeah.
You understand? I say,
Mm.
remember, before you can vote, you need to register as a voter and you need to appear at the polling stage. That's the registration I was talking about, to vote.
Oh, you mean about voting?
Yes, that's what I was talking about. I wasn't talking about people need to go to the embassy to register. No, absolutely not. I'm saying we want our rights. What are some of our rights? We want the right to vote, right to run
That
for
one is
office,
absolutely
right to run for
question.
office. And I'm saying there are serious obstacles to the process, the two processes. One, the process of registering to vote and actually voting. Someone told me they had to travel almost 1,000 miles just to go register and vote. And then they have to travel again another 1,000 miles to go and vote. And when you are doing all this, it's at your cost and you have to pay your
Mr.
transport accommodation. Do you understand what I'm saying? These
Mr.
are
Kavi,
real issues that cannot be dealt with by an embassy.
I agree with you. It's a big problem, and as a lot of people have raised an issue on it, and I'm glad County 48 is sort of taking care of that. But my question is, why County 48? What role will they play that a mission cannot play? You just said about registration, which I believe the mission, not even the mission, IEBC can be compelled and funded to do that. We do not have to have a representative here to push for representation because it is already in the constitution. We don't need to pass a bill to a law about our representation. We just need to put pressure on the IEBC through the lobbying and through the legal process.
No, you cannot put pressure. The law is very clear. Registration and voting abroad can only be done at designated Kenyan missions. I had conversations with the chairman, Chebukati, many times, and he made it very clear.
But that is a simple thing.
Until the law is changed, there is no way you'll have, and come 2027, unless something is done now, between now and then, we will still be having this conversation. You will still be forced to register and vote at your embassy until the law changes to designate other areas. And what are these other areas? This is where County 48 comes in, where we have communities. We have a structure with community. We know where Kenyans live. So we will have our own structures where we'll say, go to Romford. We know there are about 1,500 Kenyans there. Go have a station there. Go to Slough. Let's have a station there. Go to Wales. Do you understand? That's where the county comes in, because
but
we
all
are
you
on
need
the ground.
is to gazette.
We are the people who know how to write. No, gazetting it, that's just part of it. There's the implementation part, and we need the county on the ground. You are missing the point. Kenyans get stranded here. Kenyans are in this way. The embassies have failed over 60 years. Anybody will tell you, go to the embassy, they tell you, find your way home the way you came. If we don't have a budget to help you to us, this is where the county comes in. And we're talking of the Kenyans in distress, Kenyans who have died here. We are talking of evacuation, repatriation of mortal remains. These are real problems.
Stop there. Stop there.
So we are talking of actually doing something for the Kenyans. The mission is there for diplomacy. They are not there to solve. And that has always been. People say you go there and they look at you like, okay, you have a problem. Yeah, who brought you here? You brought yourself. Go take care of yourself. Do you understand? That's the approach.
Wait. Mr. Kavyu, I want us to get this cleared. What is the work of a parliamentarian? Is it to go out there and mobilize and execute what has been passed as law? Or is it for them to discuss laws affecting their people? Because to me, a parliamentarian does not do what the mission is supposed to do, does not go registering people, does not go calling people for meetings unless they are doing what we call public participation. They go there to talk to people, get their views, take them to parliament. What you are trying to say is we are going to have representatives whose work is actually to mobilize people to go and vote. That is typically not what a member of parliament, whether it's a county or national government, national assembly, should be doing. We need to get this one clear.
You see, you've gotten it wrong again. You are saying they'll be there mobilizing people to go and vote. Why are people apathetic to going to vote? Why are people because we do not participate? But the member of parliament will not be mobilizing people to go and register. They will be campaigning for people to vote for them. Do you understand what enfranchisement is? Me as a governor will not be asking people to go and register to vote, and I'll be asking them to go register and vote for me. Do you understand how this works? That is how you enfranchise people. For now, we can only, listen, we can only vote for president in Kenya, right? We need that change. And that's why I'm saying we need a lot to change so that we can elect our own governors, our MCs. And so when you ask me, why do we need a cow? Because I don't need to travel to Kitui. You don't need to travel to Makueni or Mboni to go and elect your member of parliament. You can do it. You should be able to elect those people here in our own county. I thought you run affairs that affect you here. Do you understand?
Okay. Right. I agree. You can have a representative here presenting their grievances about diaspora members. My question, this is a simple question, and this is regarding what you have just said. If you have a member of parliament where you come from, back home, you said Kitui, representing the the people yourself in parliament, and you can talk to that person and tell them, I want you to go and they say diasporans need to be treated fairly, need to have to have a structure in which their money or need to be, because I'm a constituent, I'm supposed to say that. But don't you think we can lobby the people back on
Musau,
there
can you
to do what they
imagine
want to do?
talking to an
Because well,
MP?
let me finish where I'm coming from.
No,
Then
no,
you'll
no.
think.
Can you imagine talking to an MP about remittances? An MP who has never even traveled beyond Nairobi, and you are talking to him about concerns of people in US or UK? Do you see that? It's way even beyond their scope when you start talking to them about we have this, we have to go.
Okay.
It's
Okay. Maybe
it's
the
like
question.
punishing them. You're actually punishing them.
Maybe the
They
question.
cannot even comprehend
Okay.
what your
Okay.
issues are in diaspora.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I agree with you, but maybe I phrased my question badly. I'm asking you this question, and what the question I'm asking you may look ridiculous and ludicrous as well. But the reason why I'm saying this is this thing is going to the Houses of Parliament. People there are not brainless. Majority of them, some of them usually they are. A majority of them are quite learned. Most of them actually have studied abroad or lived abroad. They understand us. Me, I'm asking you, I say I stand for senator, and you as a governor. Tell me what my job will be if I'm not going to represent you in Houses of Parliament at Westminster. What will be my role apart from uh, mm, apart from maybe our our affairs being looked into when somebody dies, or say what you just said about um, um, repatriation, um, and 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 maybe the way we are treated generally. What we might be in the parliament to do, because most of the things that I will be representing, according to me, is what you will be able to talk to your local MP here in your
Okay,
country to take care.
okay, Thomas, and this is something now I really want the listeners to get. We've we've been through this road before, and
Yeah.
different Kenyans are in different parts of the globe. And one thing is clear: those who are in the developed world, like UK, where now you are using that as an example, the US, Australia, uh, their needs are a little bit less as compared to some Kenyans who are in real hotspots. Do you know our current founding senator, where he is based? He's based in the UAE. And do you know why? Because that's the hotspot. There are people, I can tell you, there are people who left Kenya, arrived in the Middle East for a job that did not exist, or they were given a different job with horrible employers. They've been captive, their passports are taken, they cannot do they are basically prisoners, they are modern day slaves, and they are all they are looking for is a way to get back home, and they cannot go because they don't have documents. And if you are caught without documents, so they are, when you simplify it using the developed world, you may think it's all rosy. And this is the picture after working with the County 48 all these years, is when you see the other side. You see the other side of diaspora. There are people who suffer. You mentioned people underground. Even if you're underground here in Europe, you are still better off because you still eat and you still be. There are people who are they are running away, literally hiding from their employers because they are looking for them to get them arrested. So when you think an embassy, and there's just one, the thread is the same. They've gone to the embassy, and what has happened? I was speaking to someone who said in Qatar, for example, the people who work at the High Commission, they've been there for years, 10, 15 years serving, which means what? All those employers, they know them now, they use them. Do you understand? So the moment you differ with your employer, you cannot run to your embassy because your embassy is in cahoots with those oppressors.
Mr. Kavio,
so these are real issues here I'm talking about.
Mr. Kavio, there's no denial that diasporans have unique problems that must be addressed
by diasporians, not by Kenya High Commission or people in Nairobi. By diasporians.
Let me ask you a question.
Diasporians
currently, let me give you an example why I think we could actually, the issue is actually government failure. If we had somebody like the current deputy commissioner, deputy high commissioner in London, Ambassador Waroi, if we had such people in all the missions, I don't think we wouldn't be talking about County 48. We would definitely not be talking about County 48 if our missions abroad were functional. So that's why I was thinking it's not about representation here. It is more to do with having a functional, effective, and efficient government which takes care of its citizens like other countries that have other missions in their own. Because we can't have a representative in the UK who is my current member of parliament, Mary Voy, and I have another representative for Kenya. And then I went to Kenya where I live, there's another representative there. No, I do believe that what we could do is we have an effective mission, and this is my own point of view. I know there are people who feel that we should have a representative in the diaspora. Well, that is subject for another day. But what we need is effective government that will take interest in what on their people and do what other governments are doing for their people, because most of the issues we have, we can go direct to our local councillor here, local member of parliament here, get resolved. But the issue we have at the moment is the missions, and we need to overhaul how the missions are done, even if you're going to elect somebody from our own people to be in that office there to push for what needs to be done. And that will actually make the life easier for us and reduce the cost of diasporans, of the government, which is already in red with a lot of things. But as I said, I do believe that you have a point in terms of our issues have not been addressed, but at the same time, we need to think of what actually are we lacking? Are we lacking representation in the diaspora, or we are lacking actually delivery team who actually understands our issues, like the way we have Ambassador Waroi, who understands us and has taken a lot of interest in addressing those issues. And I'm so sorry, that's all the time we had is 1 hour, 30 minutes of continuous talk, but I'm going to give you 1 minute to summarize your presentation today.
Yeah, thank you. And I want to come to it's good that you've raised the issue of our deputy head of mission, Ambassador Dr. Warui, because, and this is something very important that you need to take note of, that his appointment came from lobbying, and this lobbying, it's not one-sided. As Diaspora County 48, we have been on this, and we say it has always been, we needed reform in our missions, and the starting point should be, let's appoint high commissioners, let's appoint attaches to these embassies, people who are based in diaspora. And therefore, one positive step has been that at least here in the UK, we have that benefit. But like you said, it's a drop in the ocean. I mean, there are more than 150 missions across the globe.
Yeah.
And so to have one here, maybe another one in Los Angeles, and that's it. That's a drop in the ocean, which still brings us back to, can we really rely on the High Commission? Can we rely on the missions to serve our people? And the answer is no. I can tell you a lot. You can do a survey. It's out there. Just do a quick survey. Take 20 Kenyans, 50 Kenyans, and ask them, how satisfied are you by the services you get from the foreign mission?
Thank you
the
so much,
answer
Mr.
will be very clear. Let me finish what I'm saying. Thank you for this, because Diaspora County 48, it's for everyone. And this is what I want to tell you. If you are in diaspora, think of us as your trade union. Think of us as that place when you are in distress, you can go to. And I'm telling you, as Diaspora County 48, we've evacuated people from Lebanon, from Qatar, from the US, from the UK. We are there for our people, but we need unity. We need everybody to come on board. It doesn't matter whether you're an individual organization. Let's all rally together as Diaspora County 48, and let's speak with one voice to our government. Let's have our voice, and through that, things will be able to change. So I'll be looking forward to further dialogue with Kenyans in diaspora, and hopefully one day we'll have our fully fledged autonomous county. Thank you very much, Thomas.
Thank you so much, Governor Kavyu. It has been a pleasure having you on the hot seat. I hope it wasn't too hot, but this is a seat which we try to dissect issues that affect us, and we tell as it is. And that is why we talk about uncensored, because we don't want to make you happy and watch you fail. It's better, they say it's better to have a friend, an enemy who tells you your problems, than an enemy and a friend who just praises you and doesn't tell you how you can improve. So I hope our discussions today have been fruitful. I've given you food for thought together with your team and the listeners. And in future, the discussions held here can give an insight on the best way forward. Again, thank you so much, and we look forward to engaging you in the coming weeks and months as we think Diaspora County 48 will not end today. There is so much, and I'm sure you will have updates in the coming weeks and months, and we want you to come back here, tell us what is happening, and we can dissect and critique and put you in the right path, or put us in the right path. It can go either way. So thank you so much, and have a lovely evening.
Thank you. I appreciate. Thank you very much, Thomas. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to the viewers and listeners. Thank you very much.